This is part 3 of Collateral Damage, Friendships. The first 2 in the series were about dating and sexuality and femininity and those kind of things. This is about friendships. I'm going to talk about my own experiences, some of the trends I see in others who are healing from psychiatric drug withdrawal, and maybe ways to work with it. Let's say. Okay, so I did another video. It's back in the back. I'll try to link it up in the corner, but I did one about losing family and friends during this process, and I just have a note to say about that. I really think the general person just does not have the capacity to sit with someone who is suffering as bad as some of us have suffered or are suffering. There is just, people don't have the skills to be empathetic, to listen without telling you what to do, to stop pushing meds or the easy answer, like just you need to go back to the doctor, you need to get back on your meds, things like that. And it's a shame, because that's why we have to pay for therapists or coaches like me, because we can hold that space and we don't judge you and tell you what to do with your life or gaslight you. Do you know what I mean? So keep that in mind. Like, the general human being just does not have the capacity to sit and hold space for someone else. So that's particularly hard in a friendship when they know you on a certain level. They see that you were functioning for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden you guys get sick, or and you look the same and you sound the same, but they don't know what you feel like on the inside of your body. They don't get the depth of this. So if you tell someone, you don't understand, like, I just have really, really bad anxiety and now I can't go out anymore, they just think you're being silly. Like, put your shoes on and let's go for a walk. And it's like, no, they don't get it. Because, again, you look and sound the same. You can walk around the house. You can stand up. Like, you can sit down. You're not in a wheelchair. You don't have a brace on your any body part. So I think it's a deceiving injury, because you just can't see it. Even in my earlier videos, you guys probably think I'm fine. I'm not fine. I promise you. Look at the subtle things, like the speed of my speech or the light in my eyes, how it's changed over the years through the healing. But it's a very deceiving injury that we look and sound normal. Okay, so here's some of my experiences. I had a friend who helped me. At the very end, before I went into the psych ward, I said, like, I am extremely in pain and I like mental distress. Do you know what I mean? And the S word was very prevalent. Read between the lines if you don't know what that is. And I checked in. They encouraged me to go. And then when I was in, I left a bag of clothes and women products in the car. And so I asked the psych ward, can I go to my car first and get all my women products? And they said, no, you cannot. You're now, like, hospitalized. I thought that was ridiculous. That was one of the markers, like, how did I just lose my rights like that quickly to even go to my own car? So these friends drove an hour and a half to get my stuff out of my car to bring it to me in the hospital. And so they knew I was the S word, and they knew I was in the hospital, and then they knew I was being taken off the Ativan cold turkey. This person was running 5Ks and 15Ks and half marathons for people with the S word that had already completed them. And I'm like, hello, I am on the edge, but you are going to run with people stamped to your back in honor of their life, but I'm here suffering and you can't even, like, check on me? I don't understand. That person was, like, extremely mean to me. That first month off, they were asking me to do things for their husband. Like, can you go pick him up and give him a ride to get his vehicle? I'm like, no, I can't leave my house. I can't even speak. Like, I was that in the thick of withdrawal. That person very much exited the situation. That first 4 months, I literally didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't go to Facebook groups. My first video wasn't until I was 6 months off, when I finally figured out what was happening. It was like I was suffering so harshly that I could not speak or tell anyone what was happening. That's how bad it was my first 4 months off. So it just, like, really hurt me. I remember thinking, I'm laying in my basement, like, begging for my life, and you are not even checking on me, and you know what I just went through? Are you kidding me? So that was the end of that friendship. My next friendship was from a person who had a brain injury that was pretty significant, but they were fully functioning. They were actually a nurse. They were a college student, grad school. So she was pretty functioning, but she would, like, say things out loud in front of others that were very hurtful. Like, Angie, you're just mentally ill. like that kind of stuff, like in front of people that's none of their business, the status of my health. Do you know what I mean? So I lost that one friend for that. Then the next friend that I lost actually went through benzo withdrawal and told me that she had a pretty bad year, like the year she doesn't even remember. I could see, now I can actually see for sure, like she still had remnants of it, you know, a couple years later, but just didn't recognize it. Like she would drink alcohol and she would get really angry. And then every time her period would come, she'd get super like anxious and upset, and she would freak out sometimes. And I'm like, oh wow, she still had neuroemotion going on, but I didn't know that was a symptom. I just thought that was her personality, you know? Well, anyway, I was about a year off, and she invited me to her wedding, and she wanted me to go pick up her mother that was in a care home who smoked cigarettes like you know, like forever, and drive her an hour and a half and get her ready for the wedding and pick her up from her hotel. And she was going to pay for the hotel room, not my gas, and to take care of her mother the whole day. And I was like, I'm in benzo withdrawal. I can't even go to the grocery store. Like, you're asking something of me that I cannot do. And I told her so, and I said, like, no, I'm in the heat and thick of things. Like, I can't do this. And then she was like, what kind of friend are you? This is the most important day of my life. And I'm thinking, like, I'm not your maid, and I'm sick. Like, no, I'm not doing this. And I thought that was my closest friend at the time. So it was really hurtful, especially someone who went through this. It's like she forgot how hard it was. So here are some tips for moving through withdrawal. Friendships. All right. Your friends aren't going to get it. I'm sorry. That's the cold, hard truth. You need to lean into that. You need to lean into friends that do get it. Just don't like pull them down with it, like sending them journal articles, like watch this video, watch this movie. Too much is too overwhelming. I might, if it was me, and listen, I don't make any money from medicating normal. I just think it's like the quickest crash course in what we're dealing with. Send them the movie and let them watch it. That's about it. If they want more information, cool. If they want to know more, a good friend would get curious and say, like, tell me more. Like, how is this affecting you? What can I do to help? I have seen many friends like that through some of the clients I work with. Most are not like that. And the more that you push them, the more they will pull away. So what I learned was you need to hang on to the withdrawal friends, the people that do get it, the people that are open-minded, that are open-hearted. It could hurt a little trying to find those people. Worst case scenario, you're going to have to hang on to the support groups, the Facebook groups, the surviving antidepressants, those kind of sites. Like, find a friend that you can talk to. My support circles are a super good tool for that, because you get to see people face to face, and you hear how they talk, and you can relate to each other. It's more, Facebook is just comments. You don't know the person's history. You don't know anything. So if you need like a healing buddy, try that. However, caveat, I have seen even people that are linking up as healing buddies, one will be like super needy or frantic or hysterical or the S word, and that can pull the other one down. So you can't it's really hard to not take that personal when the person's saying like, hey, I can't support you, this is too much. It's too much. It's too much for coaches. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So you have to be mindful, like, there's no one that can really like sit with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You have to be gentle with the healing buddy that you do have, and make sure it's a reciprocal relationship, meaning like you're not hanging on to them for dear life and pulling them down with you. You try to give that support. I know just me trying to help others was helping me. Like, hold on, you have to hang on, because if you don't hang on, that means I'm not going to hang on. So like, let's hang on together, and I would send like helpful memes or things that I would read we would try to keep each other going. Some dark memes that really helped me for a long time. But yeah, friendships is tough. So hang on to the people that do get it or are open-minded to it, but do not like wear them out, burn them out. I've seen more burnout from friends and caregivers than I ever expected. So just be careful with that. The other thing is, it's kind of like this. You cannot ask for relationship advice from someone that has 6 divorces. Okay. Why would you do that? They're having trouble with relationships, right? So if someone shows you over and over again that they can't handle your story or they can't support you, don't keep trying. It's more trauma for you when you do that. You know what I mean? So just stick to the people that will listen to you, that can hold space for you. I'm sorry if that means you have to hire a coach or you have to pay for a support circle, but it's like, that's what we're here for. That's what we do, Okay. So friendships going forward. Here's part 3 of this little, how do you deal? I have friends now that don't know anything about my withdrawal. They have no clue. I don't talk about it. I'm not self-focused anymore. I'm not like in my symptoms constantly like I was at the beginning with how bad the suffering was. So now I don't even bring it up. I wait until I feel like I can trust the person, and then I can open up a little bit and just say, hey, I'm having a bad brain day. Like, I just need to rest or something. Things like that I would say. Or, hey, can I tell you like about what I've been through? Sometimes it comes up because they'll ask me what I do for work, but they usually don't ask like a bunch of questions. Sometimes they're defensive and they'll say, I'm on meds. My meds saved my life. And I'm like, that's cool. Usually I know that's not going to be a friend long term, I don't have an opinion on other people's meds. I want to stay out of that. Like, if you want information, you can ask me, but I'm not here to like tell you about yours, So what I've learned from that is, including in dating, like, you give a person a little bit and then you wait and see what they do with it. So if you say, like, I'm having a bad brain day, like, how do they respond to that? Do they say, like, oh, I have Lyme disease once and I still, like, what are they are they going to try to relate to you with connection? That's cool. But are they going to, like, be condescending or, like, oh, do you need, like, a Tylenol? Like, what's up with you? Just how they respond will tell you everything. And then you give them a little bit more, maybe, like, hey, can I tell you my story? But like, keep it brief. Like, don't go into deep detail, and just see how do they handle it. I find like I want to be authentic and true to myself more than ever. So if you can't handle what happened to me, or you're condescending, I don't want you around. Like, I'm done. It's not even it's not even a question. It's like, this person is not for me. Like, I need people that are authentic and genuine and present and can hold space for me, or I don't want them in my life. So that brings me to the last 2 weeks. I broke up with 2 friends that I had met after my withdrawal experience out in the real world, out in my RV life. And one of them, it was just basically like, she planned something, then she changed the plans, and then it was like, okay, I waited for 2 weeks for these plans, and I spent a lot of money to wait, and then you like change the plans on me last minute. I'm not doing that. I'm going to be sleeping. And then I made an attempt to like support her in another place. And I remember when I signed on she was a Zoom graduation thing that she had been doing. And I signed on, and I could tell she like rolled her eyes that I was there. And I was like, okay. And then I sent her a picture of herself while she was doing her little graduation thing. And I was like, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And then like, she never spoke to me again. And then a year later, she tries to talk to me again. I'm like, excuse me? Like, that's not how that goes, So I was like civil to her, but I wasn't like trying to be friends with her, because to me that says like, you're not safe. Like, you're unpredictable, and I don't know what you're going to do. And I'm not going to like hurt myself. Like, if I can't trust you and you're not like consistent and safe. So she wrote me like this message, and it was basically like, it was the worst condescending email I've ever gotten. And it was like, maybe you need someone to talk to. I know that therapists need someone to talk to too. And I'm like, excuse me, first of all, I'm not a therapist. Second of all, what makes you think I need someone to talk to? Like, that sounds really gross. How about, hey, I'm really sorry I fucked up in the past, and I really, I take responsibility for that, and I won't let it happen again, and I needed some space from our friendship. Like, that's what I value. Like, I want open, genuine communication. Don't tell me how I feel. And then she said something about I sabotaged the girls' night, and I'm like, you planned it. I didn't do that. You did that. And then she's like, but I'm not blaming you. I'm like, I can't do this drama stuff. And the way the person was talking in circles, I was like, oh my God, now I feel crazy. Like, I can't. So I got rid of that one. The other one just has treated me poorly on several occasions, and I just tried to brush it off. And back then I was kind of weaker. I was still recovering in a lot of ways. And so I was like, it's like I wasn't tough enough to say like, hey, stop doing that. Hey, you're treating me poorly. Like, don't do that. And it just is accumulated to a certain point. I'm just like, I can't do this. I've also lost friends in the psych drug community, because I think I had a lot of neuro emotion going on, and they have neuro emotion going on to some extent, or not. But I feel like I'm often like misinterpreted as like I'm too traumatized to have friends or something. No, I just do not put up with bullshit. Like, my meter for bullshit is like 0. Like, if you treat me poorly, if you can constantly bring me drama, if you don't value my friendship or my position in your organization or my worth, like, I'm gone. Why would I do that? After what we've been through, do you think I'm going to continue to put up with people treating me poorly? No. I'm sorry. No. So I've lost friends that way for standing up for myself, and that's what I have to do, so be it. I'm happy with that, you know? I only want my kind of people. I want people that bring energy to my life, not bring me down. This work that I do is extremely hard, and now it's like my bar for friendship is high, because if I deal with suffering all day, every day, and then I have friends that are like high maintenance or full of drama or toxic on the weekends and at night, that feels like another coaching client. Like, I cannot do this work with all of you guys and try to get you to hang on and then have friends that bring me down at the end of the day. I need people that pour into me the way that I pour into you all and that I want to pour into them. So that's kind of how things have changed. Protect your heart. I said that in a couple of the other videos. Just know what you want, and, you know, value yourself, and that you deserve good friendships and authentic relating and clear communication. Like, you need to be able to say to a friend, like, hey, the way you're treating me is not okay. Like, can we talk about that? And if they can't handle that conversation, like, move along. Excuse me. That's my best advice. Okay. I love you all. Thank you for being here. If you have any video requests, please post them below, and I'd be happy to make them for you. Okay. Bye.